Brad Walker, and welcome to the Sunshine State Sports Jabber, part of NGSC Sports and being shown live on Coast to Coast Entertainment as well. Guys, hopefully everyone out there is enjoying their Friday. We have hit to the end of the week. A lot of interesting sports news and stuff that I'll be discussing here this evening. The Sunshine State Sports Jabber, guys, is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience at your favorite sports venues. Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? All right, guys. So usually I start off with with football, but I have changed it up this week. I'm going to start off with soccer. Hang on just a second, guys. I usually start off with football, but I'm going to start off again, like I said, with soccer this week instead of football. I'm going to end the show on all football notes. But guys, if you want to come in, there was a link that I posted on my Facebook page. If you guys want to come in the studio, join us. You can chat live with us as well if you want to. And guys, if you don't want to come on the air, it's okay. You don't have to. It is all right. I understand that there are people out there that don't want their face to be seen, or there's a way, guys, of shutting the camera off if you do not want to do that. That is up to you. I will, I will definitely respect that. I'm going to start, guys, with the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Obviously, that is the team here in Tampa that is owned also by Stu Sternberg, who owns the Tampa Bay Rays. They play at Allen Field, where the old spring training stadium for the St. Louis Cardinals. But again, they have started off their season very, very well. In fact, they beat the Phoenix Rising, who they would have played last year in the USFL Championship. Again, that was canceled, guys. If you do not know, the Rowdies ended up getting COVID, and the league, instead of rescheduling the championship game, postponed it and canceled it altogether, and let the Phoenix team have the West Championship and the Rowdies have the East Championship. These two teams met last Saturday night, and the Rowdies beat them 2-1. Would that have been something, guys, we would have seen in the championship game? I don't really know. I mean, I'm going to go off the fact that we may have had another championship to add to the Tampa Bay area. Obviously, we had the Bucks win the Super Bowl, the Lightning win the Stanley Cup last year. It would have been nice for the Rowdies and or the Rays to have won the World Series. Again, that would have been nice as well. But they're off to a good start. The Rowdies are really, really off to a good start. Speaking of the Rays and the Rowdies together, Randy Arozarena plays for the Rays. His brother plays for the Tampa Bay Rowdies. And so far this year, they are taking over the sports scene. Right? Arozarena's bat has come alive here in the last week or two. Rico Arozarena is the brother and was traded here. And he is having a very good start to his season as well. He says it's pretty cool. I feel very confident to have my brother next to me, and we support each other. I didn't know anything about St. Pete, but I was very excited to be in the U.S. Any city, I'm very happy to be in St. Pete right now. Guys, if you do not know and you don't know the distance between the two of them, Tropicana Field and Allen Stadium are literally probably maybe 6 or 7 blocks away from each other. I'm sorry, not that close. Probably about 1.5 miles, 2 miles away from each other. If you're up for a brisk walk in downtown St. Pete, you could go there. You could go there if you wanted, again, to make that walk all the way from Allen to Raymond to Tropicana Field. You could do that. Or you could take any kind of, they have a tram that runs up and down Central Avenue. You can drive however you want to do it. But yeah, so there you go, guys. So again, the Rowdies are off to a good start. The Rays are off to a good start. I'll be talking about the Rays later on in the show. But here's the preview, guys. As the Rowdies, I believe, will travel on the road. Oh no, I'm sorry, this was already over. I'm sorry. They beat the Riverhounds SC 3-0, and that's in Pittsburgh. I believe the Rowdies are playing against Miami FC this weekend. That's the team that they're traveling to play. Miami FC, again, guys, will be another team that I will be adding here to the Soccer Talk because, again, they are a USL team. So I'll be talking about them as well. There wasn't much news on them today that I could find, but I will be, again, adding them to the Soccer Talk here because they are a team that plays in the state of Florida. So we will be talking about them. But I believe the Rowdies are on the road this week to play Miami FC in Miami. Let's go ahead, guys, and jump to the to MLS soccer. So these are the two teams that I cover here. First is Orlando City. That's the team in Orlando. That is their logo behind me, that very, very nice bright lion with the purple background. Now, guys, they are off to a good start as well. Again, guys, I'm not the biggest soccer fan in the world. So bear with me if I'm giving you guys incorrect information or anything like that. Let me know. But goals have been in bundles for Orlando City. They're off to a great start in the 2021 Major League season. Orlando is one of 3 teams that are still undefeated. The other 2 are Seattle, the Seattle Sounders, and the Nashville SC. They sit second in the Eastern Conference behind the New England Revolution, who have played 1 game more than the Lions this year, who should look past how positive things have been off to a start. However, things aren't perfect, especially offensively. They finished 5th in goals in 2020, but they have struggled consistently to create scoring opportunities in the first 5 games or convert the ones that they generated. So again, guys, early on in the season, you're going to see this kind of stuff with Orlando. But they are off to another good start, guys. The 3 of the teams that are undefeated in MLS, they are one of the 3 that are still undefeated. Pretty darn good. Again, guys, this is all the stuff. They are going to be playing Toronto FC. And guys, here are 3 keys on how they can beat Toronto FC and continue the undefeated streak. Key 1 is beat the press. During most of Oscar Penner's tenure in Orlando City, has been a very efficient passing team and has been able to find the job in breaking other clubs' presses. This is not the case against DC United last Sunday. The Lions bunkered down effectively, were able to see out the match, which is important, but identically the club should be able to do a little bit better. Toronto FC is another team that likes to press, and the Lions going to get back to form on breaking that press. Fullback battle. Orlando City likes to play up the wings with its fullbacks taking part in the offense. Typically, Ruin and Juan Milano team up and down their respective sides. Those guys are gonna have to step up and keep doing that and maintain the defense. Normally, I would tell you that the Lions need to find some goals, some combination from anybody else that needs to score some goals. They might be true, but Orlando City is one of the stoutest defense in Major League Soccer, and the club's undefeated so far in 2021. So those are the 3 keys, guys, in beating Toronto FC coming up. I believe this team can continue to be undefeated. I think they have a good shot at beating Toronto FC this time around. So I really honestly can say that I think that they can. And I'm looking forward to covering them next week, and hopefully they're still undefeated at that point. The next team, guys, in the MLS would be the Inter Miami. That's the team that plays down south. Now, they are pursuing Real Madrid's one of Real Madrid's fullbacks. Let me go ahead and give you that guy's name. They're looking, this is bad news for the Spurs, which I believe is Real Madrid's name. David Beckham are reportedly a potential destination for Madrid fullback Marcelo. However, should the Brazilian opt to swap Spain for America, there's a real possibility that Los Blancos could trigger their optional buyback clause in Spurs Sergio Ronaldo's contract. So he joined Real Madrid in 2007. He's 33 at right now. He's been featured in 527 matches, but Beckham is trying to get him out of Real Madrid and get him to Inter Miami. If you do not know, guys, David Beckham owns Inter Miami. He is one of the owners of that MLS team that calls South Beach home, Miami. So they're trying and persuading to get him to come to leave Spain to come to America to play in the MLS. This is something I think for soccer purposes, if the MLS is going to survive, they're going to have to bring some of the stars from the Premier League and all of them over here to get everything set and ready to go. But there it is right there. And another real quick thing, Inter Miami is going to have a new blue jersey made from Ocean Plastic. This was kind of a cool article I saw. This guy is courtesy of Local10.com. Inter Miami unveils a blue jersey made from Ocean Plastic. Now, again, this is coming out of Fort Lauderdale. The Adidas Prima Blue jersey is made with Parley Ocean Plastic, the team said, and will be worn for the first time May 29th at home against DC United, which, again, guys, is next weekend. Match one produced from that night will be auctioned to raise money for the Inter Miami CF Foundation's sustainability efforts. Prime Blue is a high-performance yarn made from 50% Parley Ocean Plastic. Upcycled plastic waste intercepted on shorelines and coastal areas, preventing it from polluting our oceans, Inter Miami said in a news release. That's pretty cool, guys, because if you do not know, obviously, South Florida and the water down here in Florida, we have a lot of plastic floating around in the oceans. Unfortunately, there are people out there that throw their stuff into the ocean instead of throwing it in the garbage can. That's the unfortunate part. So they've now taken some of that plastic and turned it into jerseys. So that's pretty darn cool. I think pretty cool. And being that their colors sitting behind me look like they're black and pink, going to that blue color will stick out in Miami. Because again, you look at all the teams in Miami, the Dolphins have the turquoise and orange. The Miami Heat are orange and red. The Marlins are black and green. So again, if you look at the colors, that would kind of stand out in Miami being the blue. So that's pretty cool. I would have to give Inter Miami a lot of credit for that jersey. Real quick, guys, they have a match coming up against the Chicago Fire FC this upcoming Saturday. And here's the story behind that one. So here we are. Again, they will hit on Saturday. So far, Miami is 2-2-2 with 8 points. They'll be facing the Chicago Fire, who are 0-4-1, and that'll be coming up on the 22nd. So that's their next match. Hopefully, we could talk about not only an Orlando City win, but an Inter Miami win as well this week as well. So again, pretty darn cool that that's happening here. But yeah, so again, Inter Miami will be facing Inter Miami will be facing Chicago. The Orlando City will be facing Toronto FC this weekend. Hopefully, we'll be talking about some wins next week for both the franchises in Major League Soccer here in the state of Florida. One of the teams, guys, another new team that I added to the roster this week, and they'll be on the show too, is the Orlando Pride. Now, that is the Major League, that's the Women's Soccer League. And they started last week. I think it was a tie 1-1 against the Washington Spirit. And the one great Alex Morgan is the one who had the goal to tie the game. She had the late equalizer in the game. They remain winless this season. Remain winless in season openers after a 1-1 home draw. So far, they are 0-1, 1 point at home. So they've only had one game so far, and again, they are set to launch this team. Basically, again, the season just started for them. Let me go ahead, guys, and give you their schedule because they're only one game into the season. So let's take a look at Orlando Pride's regular season schedule. So they opened against the Washington Spirit at home. They will be on the road this week in North Carolina to play the Courage. May 26th, they are at home against the Portland Thorns FC. They're at home again on May 30th against Kansas City. They're on the road against the Washington Spirit on June 6th, the team that they just tied. On June 20th, they're at home to face the New York Gotham. The 23rd, they're on the road against Kansas City. The 26th of June, they're on the road against the Houston Dash. They have 2 home games on the 4th of July and on Friday, July 9th. The July 4th game of Independence Day, they'll play the North Carolina Courage. And they're that Friday, the 9th, they'll be playing Racing Louisville. July 18th, they're Portland Thorns on the road. July 24th, they're at home against OL Reign. July 31st, they're against the North Carolina Courage on the road. On the 8th, they play the Chicago Red Stars on the road. They play Portland Thorns at home on August 14th. August 22nd, they're on the road against Washington. On the 29th, they're on the road against NJNY Gotham. They're home against Houston and Racing Louisville on September 5th and Saturday, September 11th. The 26th, they're against OL Reign at Cheney Stadium. They're on the road on October 2nd against the Chicago Red Stars, at home against NJNY Gotham again. They will have their last road game on October 16th against Racing Louisville, and they will finish the season at home 2 days prior to Halloween on October 29th against the Chicago Red Stars. So again, guys, I will once again be covering the Orlando Pride from here on out on this show as well, because again, they are a team that does play. I've had a lot of new teams, a lot of new news to cover, which is good, guys, because I mean, if you were on the show last week, I did minimize my basketball coverage because the season is over for the Magic and the Raptors, so I won't be covering them now that the season is finished for them. I will be covering the Miami Heat because, again, they did make the postseason. So, again, guys, adding some new teams, getting to know some of these teams is going to be cool moving forward to talk about men's soccer, ladies soccer, and all that stuff moving forward. So, again, you will be seeing the logo behind me, which is Orlando Pride, and that is women's soccer moving forward. I don't have a problem, guys, covering women's sports, by the way. I think a lot of people out there tend to have an issue with covering it because they don't find it entertaining, and I'm one of the few that actually do. Speaking of the Miami Heat, we'll go ahead and switch real quick to the NBA. This is the only team out of the 3 that I cover that made it to the postseason. Now, they will be facing off against the Milwaukee Bucks. So, again, we will see the Greek freak Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. This is something, is this a sequel or a reboot? Because remember, last year, the Heat beat them. The Heat beat the Milwaukee Bucks in the Eastern Conference semifinals last season. It was the only surprise if you didn't watch the game. Again, if you remember, on paper, you saw the number 5 seed knock off the number 1 seed and had been on a 63-game win pace and think, oh, that doesn't happen very often. So once again, these teams will meet in the playoffs again. Last year, it meant for more, obviously, than it does this year when they're in the first round compared to being in the conference semifinals to be in the conference finals. Again, the Miami Heat will be looking to get back to the finals. Last year, losing in 6 games to the Los Angeles Lakers in the finals. And again, guys, if you do not remember, it all took place in Orlando at the Wild World Sports Complex in Disney World. That is where the NBA had their final set. So again, it will be the number 3 Milwaukee Bucks against the 6th-seeded Miami Heat. So once again, the Heat are the lower seed of the 2. The last time these 2 teams met, and that was the case, the Miami Heat went on to win that series. So once again, very interesting to say the least that this is another matchup. Let me give you, Eric Spoelstra did provide a big update for the roster that the Miami Heat will feature against the Bucks coming up to start their playoffs. Here is the roster that he wants to reportedly set in play. Obviously, we're going to see Jimmy Butler is back. He practiced today. Everybody was able to work today. So that is that. Victor Ostapenko is out, obviously, with surgery. But for the most part, Jimmy Butler is back, which, again, is a huge thing to add, add to that roster. Hey, Lewis, what's going on?
Evening, Bradley.
I was just talking about the Miami Heat. They'll be facing the Bucks in the first round. Now, let me ask you this question, because these two teams met last year in the conference semifinals, and the Heat won that series. Do you see that happening again, or do you see Milwaukee beating them this time around?
No, I mean, because Milwaukee's not the same team they were last year. I mean, even the Greeks, because, been losing some steam a bit. So I thought this to be a much more competitive match. And I do, even despite that, the Bucks are still third seed. I think maybe we might see an upset here. I think maybe that he can take it. This is not an easy series.
I agree. I mean, I think, with Jimmy Butler and company, I think he did that last year. He willed that team. Obviously, he willed that team to a Game 5 win over the Lakers. I mean, he single-handedly kept the Heat in that game. I could see the same thing. I could see Miami winning this series. If you can kind of, I'm not going to say completely shut down Giannis, but slow him down. Mm-hmm. I don't really know who else Milwaukee has on that roster that could end up, to me, I think Miami's got the, I'm not going to say it's going to be a sweep, but I think Miami will take the series.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah. So, again, guys, that is my NBA news, because Orlando and Toronto did not make the postseason. Orlando didn't even have a blink of a chance. And Toronto, I don't think they finished kind of out of the playoff picture as well.
Yeah, nothing.
And, guys, unless Toronto comes back to Tampa next year, I will not be covering them. And this team will be done after this week as well, because they are moving to Buffalo after they finish this weekend's 4-game series against the Rays. And I'll talk about baseball here now. Yes, the Toronto Blue Jays are finally moving out of Dunedin. They're heading to Buffalo, and tickets have already gone on sale in Buffalo already.
Yes,
the Blue Jays. Me personally, and I talked to my boss today about this. If I was the owner of the Toronto Blue Jays, I think I would be pretty pissed off right now that we can't play at Rogers Center. I mean, really, we cannot play in our home stadium. Right. That's ridiculous that we cannot play in our home stadium, And again, guys, looking back, the Jays have obviously won. They won back-to-back World Series in the 90s. They have been competitive here or there. They haven't been great, but they still draw a decent crowd in Toronto when they're there. I mean, when they win, obviously they draw more, as every team does. When you win, you draw more fans. When you lose,
except the Rays,
only your diehards come when you're in a losing thing. But guys, like I said, this will be the last time you'll see the logo behind me, because next week they will not be on here because they'll be moving to Buffalo. They have, I believe the Jays have just come off. Let me check I know, again, they're playing the Rays tonight in Dunedin. I think the Red Sox walked them off last night. JD Martinez hit a 2-run home run in the top of the 9th inning, and the Red Sox won 8-7. Matt Barnes came in and closed it out. All
right, Bruins win.
So that, again, like I said, the Jays are playing the Tampa Bay Rays 4-game series, and then that will be it for Toronto as they will head north to Buffalo. So I mean, that's it, guys. I mean, the Jays are they're in the thick of it. I think it's a 4-team chase right now for first place in the AL East. I think the Jays, Yankees, Rays, and Red Sox are all very, very close to each other. So it could be
the Orioles as usual.
Yeah, I that's a team unfortunately, it would be nice to have a 5-team run, but I don't think the Orioles are going to reach out of the basement for a while. Sorry if anyone out there is watching a Florida sports show talking about the Baltimore Orioles, any Orioles fans out there, you guys got a long way to go before you can climb out of the cellar. And again, a lot of people, I don't know. I mean, will the Jays be in the thick of it all year round, or will they start to fall off when things change? We don't know. We'll have to wait. It's way too early to determine how, the Blue Jays will do, how the Rays will do, how the Yankees and the Red Sox will do, because anything can happen at any moment.
Yes.
That's what is interesting about baseball. But that's it, guys. Like I said, this will be the last time you'll see that logo behind me, because again, they are moving. The Miami Marlins guys have a 3-game series over the weekend with the New York Mets. That's the team that they're going to be playing against. Mm-hmm. And guys, if you did not hear, they are no longer requiring you to wear a face mask at the games in Miami. That was announced by ownership. So they are not. They don't want you now. I believe now they recommend you wear one, but it's not required. So again, there's a big difference between required and recommended. But as of right now, the Marlins have waived it. They are not going to require you to wear a mask at a game. And you know what's surprising with that, guys? If you do not know, if you're not from the state of Florida, the worst part for COVID was in South Florida. This is where it was the worst for the longest time. There was actually, I believe, like at least 3 or 4 months, they were not even allowed to go out of their homes. They were locked down completely. You could not even go out of your house. You had to have, the only thing you can go out of your house for was go get groceries, and that was about it, and go get gas. As far as that goes, that was it. So they have obviously gotten COVID under control down in South Florida. And again, they are going to have no face masks this weekend.
We're almost there. I don't mean to turn this into a news show, but our governor, who is a sap anyway, says that we will not be no longer required to wear a mask indoors as of next Friday.
Nice, very nice.
Very nice. Friday.
Guys, I got my second COVID shot today, so I got the now tomorrow morning, I don't know how I'm going to feel. Right now, I'm okay. I'm not tired. I don't have a fever or anything like that, but I don't know what the side effects are going to be tomorrow. I'll find out tomorrow morning when I wake up.
I heard actually some people do turn into a werewolf when they see a full moon. So that could be
I wouldn't mind doing that and kill vampires. Yeah. I'm cool with that. I'm down with that. I'll be cool with that.
I didn't hear
that. But yeah, again, guys, the Marlins are playing the Yankees this weekend. The Jays are playing the Rays. And speaking of the Tampa Bay Rays, there was a trade made today by them. Willy Adames was sent to the Milwaukee Brewers in a 4-team trade. Let me give you the information on that. They did call up a player from the minors that is not Wander Franco. Everybody out there was thinking that was going to be the reason why. The Brewers got Willy Adames and right-handed pitcher Trevor Richards. The Rays get right-handed pitcher J.P. Fearson and right-handed pitcher Drew Ramuzin, if I'm pronouncing that last name correctly. So again, the Rays got 2 right-handed pitching pitchers, and the Rays sent Adames and Richards to the Brewers. So that was the biggest thing. I saw that today. As I was leaving work, I happened to see that the trade had been made, which is kind of interesting because Willy Adames is one of those guys who was always there to greet the players in the dugout. He was one of those positive-minded guys. But you know what? When you're not performing at the plate and you're not doing what you're doing on defense, they're going to get rid of you and bring someone else up to give them a shot. So you know what? That's what the Rays do, guys. They can't, they don't have the payroll that the Yankees and Red Sox have. So they have to do what they have to do, make trades here or there. And if you're wondering, guys, the hot prospect Wander Franco went 0 for 5 in AAA last night. So hold the horses on him. That's who everybody wants to bring up because he plays shortstop. Adames played shortstop. So again, it comes down to that. Again, the Rays did just they've won, I think, 7 games in a row. They're on fire. They've been hitting all of a sudden, which was a problem with them leading up to a couple weeks ago. And guys, if you're wondering, the Rays did not take a bus to Dunedin. They drove their own vehicles. They were able to go stay in their own houses or apartments that they have here in Tampa and drive to Dunedin. If you're not from the area, St. Pete or Tampa to Dunedin is probably about maybe a 25-minute drive. It's not that far away at all. So it would make no sense for them to have to hop on a bus and have the team drop them when they could drive. I mean, me personally, I'd like to be able to stay in my own bed too instead of staying in a hotel. Right, but I mean, obviously on the road you can't do that. But I guess that, guys, the biggest thing today for the Rays obviously is them trading away Willy Adames to the Brewers. So there was a 4-player trade. The Rays get 2 pitchers in return, and the Brewers get a pitcher and a Willy Adames. So that is the news there. And I wish Willie the best of luck in a Milwaukee Brewers uniform. I think he's a player that's on the up. I think he needs to fix his he's got to get better plate discipline. He has had a lot of issues with striking out. I think he needs some plate discipline a little bit, not to swing at everything that he sees. And I think if he can fix that, he can help the Brewers. I think the Brewers could be a team that could be a threat. We'll have to wait and see. Again, that the NL Central is different. Again, going to the National League is completely different. Different brand of baseball than the American League is. The American League, guys, is mostly hitting home runs. The National League is getting guys on base, stealing bases, the old-fashioned way of playing baseball, bunting. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that the DH, I think, is going to be league-wide starting next year, if there is next year, because I think we've talked about on the other show, there could possibly be a strike. So we'll have to cross our – for all the baseball fans out there, let's hope and pray that we do not have a strike. We do not have a strike this year or next year in baseball.
I don't know if they'll actually adopt a league-wide DH. I mean, the National League is so dead against them. They've always have been. I don't really think they'll ever adapt to it.
Lewis, I agree with you, and I think Adam would disagree with both of us by saying that, because I think he wanted to have it, because he said many times that he's tired of seeing pitchers that can't hit the ball, go up to bat, and all that stuff. But to me, that's what makes it fun. I mean, during the World Series, when the American League team has to go, I mean, the Red Sox are playing the Phillies tonight in Philadelphia, which means the pitcher has to hit. There is no DH in the National League, so they have to hit. They have to move people around. Obviously, you have to play your DH in a position. I think JD Martinez, was playing right field tonight. So, again, you have to play your DH now on the field if you want him to hit. I think it makes it more interesting. I think it makes managers think. I think also, too, the game is a lot more – when it's done the correct way in the National League, it's beautiful to watch. The bunts, the sacrifices, the stealing bases. Now, I'm not saying that I don't like home runs. I'm an American League fan. I've been an American League fan since I started watching baseball.
Same here.
So we love the home runs. I mean, I think we live and die. Most of the teams in the American League live and die by the home run.
We do.
But I mean, it's just a different breed of baseball. Over in the National League. So again, I wish Mr. Adames the best of luck. Being a Milwaukee Brewer, being the newest teammate there in Milwaukee, as he has been traded today. Because these two teams are playing each other, instead of doing them separately, I'm going to go ahead and do this together. I usually have these two teams separated, but because they're playing each other now in the first round of the National Hockey League playoffs, which is currently the series is led 2-1 by Tampa Bay. The Panthers won 6-5 last night in overtime. The Lightning, I fell behind 2-0 early on in that game. What happened, I think, with that game is, Lewis, I think the Panthers knew that they were on the verge of being eliminated. So you come out, you play your asses off, and you had a great first period. The Lightning scored 5 goals in period 2. The Panthers guard the last three. So there you go with that. That's just the way it crumbles. They have a game, guys, tomorrow at 12:30 in the afternoon. So it's a 12:30 game tomorrow afternoon in Tampa for Game 4. If the Panthers win tomorrow, the series is tied at 2 and it goes back to sunrise. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. I think I predicted early on that this series would go 6 anyway. So it could end up being that way. And guys, for all the Lightning fans out there, don't discount this Florida Panther team because they are the real deal. This team is the real deal. They're tough. They know how to. They use their aggressiveness in games 1 and 2, got them in a little bit of trouble. But they can play. They can score goals. They have, But I guess Sergei Bobrovsky is going to start tomorrow in the net at noon. So that'll be a little bit different. For the Lightning, maybe it was a good time to have a bad game. If there's any smart thing to say about that, maybe it was good to have a bad game now. Get it out of your system and then move on. Come out. Let's see if the Lightning come out tomorrow like the Panthers did in yesterday's game and get goals early on and make the Panthers kind of play pressure hockey for the rest of the game. I mean, I'm guessing that's probably what is going to happen tomorrow. But again, it will be at 12:30. The drop of the puck will be at 12:30 tomorrow. So again, the Lightning lost 6-5 in overtime. Again, guys, there's no 1 point here. You just get the loss in the loss column, and that's it. This is playoff hockey.
Right.
It's a different ball of wax, stuff like that. But again, guys, because these two teams are playing against each other, instead of separating them and giving you news about each team, I'm going to do them together until the series is over. I believe probably by the time I get to next Friday, I think unless it goes to a Game 7, I think the series will be over. Probably most of the series will be over by the time I get back to the show next week.
Yes,
I'll be talking about a winner moving on next week. Let's dive in, guys, to the National Football League, and I always start off with the boys in Duval County, and that is the Jacksonville Jaguars. If you did not hear today, guys, the big news, Tim Tebow has signed a 1-year deal to be a tight end, league minimum. That's got to be huge news. I think, to me, the Jaguars did this for one reason and one reason only. That's to put butts in the seats because they know they're not putting butts in the seats. I think this is the way that Jacksonville ownership wanted to do this. Again, I'm not dissing on the Jacksonville Jaguars. This team, guys, only won 1 game last year. I could see them winning more than 1 game this year. It's going to be interesting how Urban Meyer adjusts from the college level to the pro level. But again, you have Trevor Lawrence. If you guys can protect him and give him weapons, you saw what he could do at Clemson. I think he can do that in the pro level too. I know it's harder, faster. Players are faster, stronger. I understand that, but give him some time. I think he could be the next, franchise quarterback for Jacksonville, like a Mark Brunell. I think Mark Brunell was burning the trade, but I'm saying, he could be a guy like that could be around for a long time wearing a Jaguar uniform.
The thing is, though, with Tebow's been out for 7 years, and at 34, I don't know. It might be a little too late here, I think.
Lewis, I'll be honest with you. When I saw the news, I was actually shocked that he was going to come back. He hasn't played, like you said, 7 years. This is a position that he's never played before, and this is what they wanted to transfer. Right? Yeah, they wanted to transfer him in as a quarterback, as a tight end when he first came into the league.
Right.
And he decided that he wanted to play quarterback. Does Chris want to say something here? Hang on a second. You want to say something, Chris? I saw you waving down there. Did you want to get in on it? Okay. No problem. You want to hang in here, buddy? You want me to take you out? We were just talking about Tim Tebow signing as a tight end. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Let me see. I got an article here. Let's see how many games Vegas thinks the Jaguars are going to win in 2021. Hang on just a second. Let me bring this article up. Let's see. They have Vegas has them winning. Let's see. 3-14. 3-14 for the Jaguars this year. 2 more wins than a season ago. I would say, I would agree with that. I think it's going to be tough sledding for them this year. I think it will be. I mean, it's going to have again. Sometimes it gets worse before it gets better, and I think by winning 1 game last year, having the number 1 overall pick, I think will definitely help them moving forward. But there's still a lot of work to do in Jacksonville, in my opinion. I think.
Oh yeah.
3-14. I could legitimately say that could be right. I think that's about right. So, yeah. There you go. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't give them any more than I would say the roof for them or ceiling for them is probably 5. I would say 5 wins, ceiling wise. I think that's be about the most. Again, I could be wrong because you never know. They might come out and blow the lid right off the NFL come the season. We don't really know until the season starts, so we won't know. I do talk about the Miami Dolphins, and again with them, the big question was: is this offensive line going to be able to stand up? Again, this is Tua's sophomore year. He played a little bit last year, didn't really play all season. There's no Ryan Fitzpatrick this year. They don't have him. They don't have him under contract. They do have who's the kid from the Colts that is now a Miami Dolphins quarterback. Jacoby Brissett is now the backup quarterback in Miami. Unless, and again, I heard rumors. I keep hearing these rumors. They're going to trade for Deshaun Watson. So I don't know. That's still being rumored around. If they do trade for Watson, I have a funny feeling that Tua will go to Houston because that's what they're going to want in trade. They're going to want to trade a quarterback for a quarterback. There's no way I don't think the deal would go down any other way. What do you guys think about that?
I've heard a lot about that over the course. I think we have to just wait and see about that. Nah.
I don't see Watson coming to Miami. I really don't have that, answer all those questions every press conference that he has to go to about why the team traded for him. Yeah. So here, guys, are 4 burning questions of the AFC East. I know the Dolphins are in that. Now here's the thing: will Tua make the year 2 jump? Last year he had a 64% completion percentage. He threw for 1,814 yards, 11 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
Every morning by 11 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah, so I mean, well, that's going to be the question. They did they signed Will Fuller. They drafted Jalen Waddle from Alabama, who was one of his teammates at Alabama. I think that was a good fit. I think the Dolphins could be. His team again was 10-6 last year, missed the playoffs. Final game of the season was in the Buffalo. I think this team could be right in the back in the thick of it when it comes to the playoff picture. I don't know if they can win the division, but I think that they'll be right back in the thick of it when it comes to the playoff picture. I don't know. Obviously New England got better. Buffalo's still a good team, so it's going to be interesting to see how Miami they can keep Tua upright and that he has a good season. I can't see why they can't have a good defense in Miami. No. I can't see why the team can't be in it when it's all said and done. In my opinion, we'll have to wait. Again, same thing with them. We'll have to wait and see exactly how that all goes down. But that is the talk for the Dolphins. Let me jump, gentlemen, to the defending Super Bowl champions. And noted today that Julian Edelman is not coming to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He has stated that he is not coming back, that he is a one-team man. He's staying as a Patriot. He's not going to join Brady and
Well, there goes
Gronkowski.
your season.
And
Yeah.
well, here's the question I have, Chris. If you look too, Antonio Brown's got a knee injury and he's facing civil charges. So wouldn't that be kind of an interesting fact that he's out and then they bring Edelman in? You know what I mean? It would be somewhere along those lines. I think I agree. I think I agree with you on that one. That there's an outside chance that Edelman still comes to Tampa Bay, even though right now he's saying he isn't going to. But yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
I just don't see it happening.
What's up, Adam?
Hey, Brad, you finished up, and I'm headed home.
Cool.
So when I jump in for a minute
Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, we were just talking about Edelman possibly coming to Tampa. He has said no. But again, we've had players that have said no before and ended up coming here anyway. So
I just can't see it. Maybe if somebody got hurt midway through the season, they might be able to talk them into it.
Yes.
But no, I just don't see it. If like Scotty Miller got hurt or one of the receivers got
Godwin or Evans, yeah.
Evans, God forbid Evans or got
Well, you definitely don't want to lose either one of them. I mean, I'm not saying that Scotty Miller isn't important. You don't want to lose Godwin's your slot receiver, and Evans is your big weapon. You don't want to lose either one of them. That would hurt the Bucs offensively, huge time loss.
I think of Scotty Miller is kind of in that same vein as Edelman, and so that's why I threw Miller out there.
Well, also too, you got Tyler Johnson too. I mean, he's another kid from Minnesota, so he's not a bad player either. So
right. I don't know. I just think that I just can't see Edelman wanting to come in and. I don't know what I'm sitting here waiting for a green light at the middle of nowhere. I'm in a parking lot. I was waiting for a green light.
Yeah.
It's been a long day, gentlemen.
The other thing that jumps out at me, guys, is that Kyle Trask so far is looking pretty good at minicamp. There have been a lot of talk about him doing very well. The question, I guess, is he the heir apparent to when Brady finally hangs it up? I mean, obviously the Bucs liked him when they drafted him. So we'll have, again, being a Florida Gator fan, I've never seen a Gator quarterback ever do very well in the National Football League.
No.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to work
What is
or
with
not.
Florida not doing well in the National Football League? What is it with Florida quarterbacks?
I don't know. You go down the list. Spurrier wasn't that great.
I know, but why aren't they? That's the
Werfel
thing.
wasn't. They always say Rex Grossman was the only one that made it. Grossman didn't do anything either. The Bears had a defense that got them to the Super Bowl against the Colts. He didn't do anything in Chicago.
Rex Grossman was the most successful guy, and he was not really that great.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So, guys, I'm not dissing on Kyle Trask. Did it very, very well. And I hope he does well in the league. It's, again, when you have to fill a legend's shoes, it's very hard. Plain and simple. It's very, very hard. Again, when Andrew Luck did it very well in Indianapolis, and Peyton Manning hung it up. Aaron Rodgers obviously is out of Green Bay. We'll have to see who takes over for him in Green Bay. I don't really know. Offhand, I don't know if he stays or if he goes. But that's another division in its entirety.
Rodgers did a great job in his own right, taking over for a legend.
Right. As we talked about last night, the Falcons obviously are shopping Julio Jones. I think the division is the Bucs to win this year.
Definitely. I would even argue it's the Bucs to lose.
I'm sorry, yeah, it's the Bucs division to lose because the Saints, no Drew Brees this year. Carolina's got Sam Darnold, and then you have the Falcons are still trying to question with Matt Ryan and company there. So I think it is the plus division to lose this year. Again, I've seen predictions of this team going 14-3, 13-4 this year. If they can stay healthy, I can't disagree with any of them with those records.
Yeah.
I really
no, I don't think so either. Or I don't disagree either.
Let's put it this way: Tampa Bay is Darnold's not your problem, not ours. Well, whoever it is. Because Darnold was so bad, for us. So now he's their responsibility.
Right.
I just hope he can bounce back because I hope he's like Ryan Tannehill there in Tennessee.
There you go. As a bounce back.
Yeah.
Bounce back season. Yeah, I mean that would be nice to have a nice, reprieve to his career. Absolutely. All right, gentlemen. Well, I always end my show with college football, and I always start with the boys in Coral Gables, the Hurricanes. As of right now, again, if we talked about they start their season in Atlanta against Alabama, I wish them the best of luck.
Lots of luck in that one, buddy.
In that game, if they win, great. If they lose, as long as they don't lose embarrassingly, it will look good on them. Yeah. Currently, guys, they are a plus 1,000 bet to win the ACC. The odds are the same for North Carolina.
Florida State is just killing it right now.
So that is the odds that they're going to. So again, guys, if you were to bet $100 to win 1,000, so that's what it would be like. If Miami did win the ACC, you bet $100, you're going to win 1,000 back. So if you're willing to spend that kind of money and take that risk, for Manny Diaz and company, I think we've gone through the schedule. Alabama, obviously, that's not a game they're going to win unless Alabama lays an egg, which I don't see that happening.
Alabama could lose game 1 this year against a Miami team. If Miami can get pressure and a young quarterback, if they can get the timing of a young quarterback, I don't think he's a freshman, but he's a young quarterback there, and
Right.
Miami. So if they can get pressure in his face and make him make a mistake or two and capitalize on a mistake or two.
Well, yeah, because Alabama does have a new quarterback. So, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yep.
So, correct. They are the same. Yep.
Right.
We've lost an out lineman too, I believe, if I remember right. I think
Well, Miami is returning most of its seniors from last year. So this is a team that's returning a lot of their guys that were on the team a year ago that had a decent season. Miami didn't have a bad season a year ago. Again, them winning the ACC, that's a long shot right now. Can they win the ACC? Of course, anybody can win the conference if it falls the right way. Of course, they have to go through Clemson, Florida State. Obviously, those are the division rivals. North Carolina is another one that's a good football team they're going to have to go through when it's all said and done. But that's the news, guys, for the boys that call Coral Gables home, the green and orange of Miami. The next team I cover is the boys in Tallahassee, and that is the Seminoles. Now they've had some transfers for the Again, I think we've talked about the whole transfer portal thing. A lot of people some people like it, some people hate it.
It's not that I like it. I tolerate it. It's better than what they had before.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and on top of it, see, here's the thing. I think we've had this conversation too. That if you do transfer, you shouldn't have to set a season. You should get to play right away.
Yeah.
Sitting out a year, if you're transferring because the coach has changed his scheme and you fit in better with, like, if I'm playing for Miami and they're switching coaches and I like Coach Diaz, and I said, you know what, I don't want to play for a new coach, and I transferred to Tallahassee because they play a similar defense. I should be able to play the first year coming from Coral Gables to Tallahassee.
And
But again, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work out that way.
I shouldn't have to ask beg special permission from the NCAA to be allowed to do what I want to do.
Exactly.
Correct.
It's like I don't, if I get if I get offered a new position and I take the new position, I don't have to ask my old boss permission to go to the new job.
Correct. Absolutely. Yep. It's very similar. It would be very, very similar to. Let's see, guys, where Coach Mike Norvell ranks in the power rankings as far as the top 100 coaches in college football. Now, again, last year Norvell was 3-6 a year ago in Tallahassee.
I'm going to say 68.
Yeah, he's got to be in the middle of the pack. Again, he came from Memphis. Obviously, he came from the AAC, transferred to a Power 6 in the ACC, or excuse me, a Power 5 in the ACC. And he had problems right off the get-go in Tallahassee. This year, he doesn't have those issues. And I think the Noles will have a better season this year than they did a year ago. Again, being a Gator fan, you don't like to hear me talk about the Noles that way, but hey, you got to be positive about everybody. And I'm glad that we're going to have the Noles Gators, game on the weekend of Thanksgiving. I missed that game last year. The game used to mean a lot. It hasn't meant a lot for the last few years, but it used to mean a lot.
It's a rivalry game, but that means something.
Yeah, state rivalry. It's a state rival game. Yeah. The biggest rival for Florida State's Miami, and the biggest one for Florida is Georgia. That's our biggest rival.
Yes.
And then we were talking last night about a neutral site. The Gators play the Bulldogs on a neutral site every year. we play at the Jacksonville every year. Those two teams play against each other. So
the woodpecker.
Something's woodpecking. Something's
Yeah.
floating around in there.
Not on my end.
Yeah, I don't think it's me. I don't know.
Oh, it's me.
So let me see, guys, real quick. I will change to the boys in Gainesville.
I'll mute myself for a minute.
The Gator, actually, come to find out, this is basketball news for Florida. They'll be playing USF in the Orange Bowl Classic in basketball. That was a basketball thing I found today. That will open up next year. The Noles are, the Gators will play USF in basketball to start the season. Again, they landed 2 transfers in the transfer portal. The Gators did today. So it is what it is, guys. Again, they're bringing them in. The Gators are going to have a new no Kyle Trask, no Kyle Pitts. So it's going to be a new team for them. Yeah, there's no Kyles anymore in Gainesville, I don't think. Again, I'm hoping to see them, and I did find out some good news. I'll get into when I talk about USF in the show about what good news I found out today about Raymond James Stadium. So,
are you guys going to be fully open?
Yes, they are going to. I believe, from what I've read, that they're going to have a full stadium at Raymond James Stadium. So September 11th will be a lot of green, a lot of orange and blue at Raymond James.
Right in front of it.
These guys right here, Gus Malzahn is a new face.
No, that noise went away. So
is a new face at UCF. He thinks he wants to bring this program up to show that this program has been good. It's been good for a long time, but he wants to kind of open the eyes to everyone else out there that it's not just a fluke.
Well, they need
For
to
them.
connect to a real Power 5 conference then.
I would agree with you on that.
They gotta go out. They gotta go out to California. They gotta play SC. They gotta play LSU.
Okay, here I come.
Well, I know a couple years ago, both them and USF were rumored to go to the Big 12. At the last second, they pulled the carpet underneath from both of them, and
That would be a
decided
good
nope.
conference for them to go to.
So I mean, playing against Texas and Oklahoma and
Yeah.
Kansas, Baylor, that would be some good teams to play against to kind of open the national eyes on you a little bit more than playing in the AAC. Yep, I agree with that. But again, he again has been stating since he got there that this team is no joke. He wants to make that perfectly clear to the rest of the country that the team is no joke.
You know what they say? Talk is cheap.
Yes, of course.
Yep. Yep.
And he should run the table in the AAC if he's gonna, in that.
Yeah, I agree. If he is right, he's going to have to run the table,
Several years.
run the table in the AAC. But he wants. I read an article today, guys. He wants to have a 12-team playoff. He wants to have a playoff for 12 teams. So he's got to get to 6 before he can get to 12. He's got to get to 6 before he can get to 12. So
I just think that 12 was really hard because you lose every bowl game would become a playoff game pretty much.
all the big ones would be. Every single one of them would be. Yeah. Hey, that's okay with me. I mean, if I get to cover the Outback Bowl and it's an it's a college football playoff game, I'm in. I'm in. That's one of the games that gets entitled that. I mean, I don't know if it will or won't. But But yeah, again, guys, Gus Malzahn. To me personally, because I cover USF, UCF is no joke, guys. They haven't been a joke. They're not a joke. They're not going to be a joke anytime soon.
No.
It's not going to happen. They're not going away. How much everybody hates them in the country, they're not going away. So don't count on it.
Growing like a weed.
Yep. Do not count on it. And the last team, guys, that I cover as I close with USF, I do get a chance to cover these guys. I have the last 3 seasons. If you guys are new to the show, I was at a USF game last year where there were no fans in the stands. How eerie that is. Not one fan was allowed in.
Yeah.
The first home game of the season, there were no fans. But like I said earlier, they have cleared to return the full capacity at Raymond James Stadium, which means their home opener against the Florida Gators on September 11th. They're just a mere, 4 months away, 5 months away from that happening. But yeah, they're going to open against the Gators at home on the September 11th. That should be interesting. Let's see where the rankings are in the AAC as far as coaches from 1 to 11. Where does Coach Jeff Scott, where does Gus Malzahn fall? Let me pull this up.
Okay, before I just want to make a guess.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say Malzahn is number 1.
That's incorrect.
Really?
Number 1 is Lou Fickle, Cincinnati. They were a pretty good football team.
They were an alright football team last year.
Number 2 is Ken Natala for Navy. He's ranked high. Navy didn't do that well last year. That's interesting. He ranked number 2. Gus Malzahn, guys, is 3.
Oh, okay.
He's 3.
I
Sonny,
would put Malzahn over the Navy guy.
yeah, Sonny Dukes of SMU is 4. Willie Fritz of Tulane is 5. Dana Holgerson of Houston is 6. Philip Montgomery of Tulsa is 7. Rod Carey of Temple is 8. Ryan Silverfield of Memphis is 9. Mike Houston of East Carolina, and that means that Coach Jeff Scott is ranked dead last at number 11 in the conference. As
That's not fair, though.
again, just like the Jaguars, they only won one game last year. USF only won a game last year. So they look very good in spring. I was at the spring game. They look very good. Again, now will that, of course, carry into the season? That's a different story. We'll have to wait. And see how that goes. But I don't really have anything other to add. Does anybody want to add anything that we talked about earlier before we get off here? Anybody want to talk about the NFL? Anything else? Anybody? Chris has been in the studio all by himself for a while. Listen to me and Lewis talk. So, Chris, if you want to come on, buddy, anytime, let me know. If you don't, it's okay if you don't want to. But if you want to come on, let me know. Wave at me or message me or whatever, and I'll bring you on. You can talk about anything you want to talk about.
Yeah.
All right.
Chris, I know we haven't met. It's the first time I think I've been on the show, but I have a show tomorrow. You're in Florida, right? You're on the East Coast. Okay, Central. Okay, well, I run a show on Saturday afternoons at 5:00, the Enhanced Sports Show, and you got time. Well, it's 4:00 where you are. So if you want to call between 4 and 6, feel free to call tomorrow. Let me give you the number first before you do. Okay, the number to call is 512-543-4662. I'll repeat again. 512-543-4662. 5 to 7 my time, 4 to 6 where you are. All right. And all are welcome. And all are welcome to call in.
I am busy tomorrow.
Well, if Lewis, if I'm recovering from my second COVID shot, I'll be able. If I'm home, I'll call you. Because I might be tomorrow.
What time's your oh you got shot today, didn't you?
1:30 this afternoon, sir. 1:30 this afternoon, I got my second shot. Yeah.
So if you're not doing I may have a show tomorrow morning. I've decided to get. That'll be 10 to noon Eastern, so 9 to 11 Central, over on the Adam Mangold YouTube channel. Chris, you're more than welcome to come.
Just for requesting me this. Yep.
Let me know. Shoot me a message. Let me know you'd like to come on. I don't know what to do in the morning on Saturday mornings, but if you're wanting to come on, it's a natural sports show, so it's adults only. So the language is free and hot, and we're clear. And send you got whatever you got to send it. So it's totally uncensored and unscripted. So you'll never know what you might hear.
Go ahead.
I'll say good night, and hopefully I'll talk to you guys tomorrow on my show.
All right, Lewis, have a good night. Thanks, bud.
Good night, Charlie.
See you later, Liv. I just wanted to mention real quick, I know it's not Florida related and you try to keep this, but I think that we can make an exception for John Tavares. I want to wish him the best. After the scary
I heard about that. Yeah.
Last night we had with Corey Perry. I feel real bad for both parties involved. It was just a hockey thing. And so I heard he had a concussion, and we'll definitely want to wish his family the best, your thoughts and prayers and everything all around. So that's all I had before we get out of here.
Also, real quick, guys, thoughts and prayers to Kevin Pillar, who is recovering in the hospital for getting hit in the face. You see what his face looks like? Oh, all bruised up, dude. All bruised up. So that's.
Was he the one that took 94 to the dome?
That's correct. He's the one that took 94 to the dome. That is, yep, correct. Yeah.
I'll tell you just real quick. I begged my grandma when every summer we go down and spend time with my grandparents, and there was a go-kart track and a batting cages and a driving range. So I begged them to take me, and I was batting slow pitch softball, and I got one and I hit it right back into another ball, and the second ball veered off and hit me in my right thigh. And oh my God, I about fell. I went home, put ice on it, ice meat, was stretching it, and then we went to the movies. And I got up to leave the movie theater and about fell on my face. So I can't imagine
Wow.
taking a 30-mile-an-hour or 20-mile-an-hour softball. The great big softball to my spine. I could imagine taking 94 to the dome. That's insane.
Yeah, it's again thoughts and prayers to both Tavares and Pilar, definitely from us. But real quick, guys, again, the Sunshine State Sports Chapter has been part of NGSC Sports. Remember the website, guys. It's ngscsports.com for all your current sports content. I'm also being aired live on Coast to Coast Entertainment. We are sponsored here by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience at your favorite sports venue. I hope to bump into these guys because they told me they were going to be starting to go around when COVID was starting to get less and less. And it looks like arenas are starting to reopen a little bit here. Arena Eats mobile app pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? And as always, guys, before I go, I want to thank the first responders, doctors, and nurses. You guys have been the true heroes since the pandemic started a year ago. With dealing with all the stuff that's going on. Thank God, finally, the cases are starting to come down. Deaths are starting to come down nationwide. It's good news. Moving forward. Again, guys, if you believe in getting vaccinated, please get vaccinated. If you don't, that's up to you. That's your choice. I'm not forcing anybody to tell you what to do with your life. You do what you want to do. I got my second shot today, so I don't know what kind of repercussions I'm going to have tomorrow, but I would rather have that than have, be in a hospital on a training machine. So I'm just, going on to say that.
Yep.
Also, to the men and women of our armed services, both active, retired, and the ones who have left us, thank you for your sacrifice, guys. We appreciate it, man, and we couldn't do what we were doing without you guys doing what you do. And as always, guys, to our police officers, firefighters, and paramedics, thank you for doing what you do. Guys, until then, I want to thank everyone that came on, either if you watched or came on. Chris, thanks, buddy, for coming on. Nice to meet you. Again, like I said, next week, if you want to pop in, bud, you can. I do see a Dallas Cowboy logo, and I saw your Texas Ranger shirt. Are you in Texas? Okay, are you in Texas? Okay. All right. No problem with that. Hey, everyone's got their team. So he's a Cowboy fan and a Ranger fan. Well, speaking of the Rangers, you just had a no-hitter thrown against you by Corey Kluber. I have to ask you about that. I think they're a team that's on the up and up. The Rangers they'll bounce back. They've been in the thick of it before. I think they're a team that can come back. And Dallas, we'll have to see how Dak can come to you coming into the season. Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, gentlemen, I'm gonna hop off here, so I want to wish you guys both good night. Everyone out there, please have a good weekend. Thanks for coming on. We love all of you. Until then, until next week, guys. Peace.